Sam is 13 and a half now. He was born with a very rare condition, SCN2A. He's severely disabled. He can't walk or talk. He can verbalise in his own way, but he is reliant on somebody for everything. So we knew there was a problem at birth. He wasn't feeding very well. We took him home after 24 hours, and 24 hours later his eyes were rolling back in his head, and we ended up being rushed to the hospital because we couldn't rouse him. They talked about meningitis, they talked about brain problems, and they couldn't find anything wrong with him. So they got all the chemicals in his blood up to, or in his body up to a certain level, and they sent us home. And then he had his eyes rolling again, so we rushed him into hospital again. We were told he was having seizures, they didn't know why. And after 13 dashes into hospital, we ended up at Great Ormond Street. Great Ormond Street told us he wouldn't walk, he wouldn't talk, and we wouldn't have him very long. Like I say, he's 13 and a half, so he's proved them all wrong. They diagnosed him when he was 8, but it's been very slow progress.
So what's life like having a child with a disability?
It's amazingly rewarding, and we love him to bits, but it's really hard. He is reliant on us for everything, 24/7. We of course get help from school and places like BDCPS, and we do have some carers who come in at home, but it is hard work. You think sometimes it's hard enough getting yourself up in the morning, when you've got to get yourself up and a little person as well, and every single bit they need that sometimes you wouldn't even do for yourself, and you're having to do that for, you know, your child who you love. It's hard work, but on the other side of that, it's very rewarding. You know, the fact that, you know, he's with us, the first time he smiled, which we waited a really long time for. The milestones, I guess, that other people take for granted, actually when they come for us, is amazing. But yeah, I go back to it's hard work. BDS for us is a lifeline. I don't know what we would have done without them with us, holding our hand pretty much all the way through. Sam doesn't technically have, you know, cerebral palsy. He has cerebral palsy type movements, but we were still accepted into the fold. From very early on, you know, we had people attending meetings with us, holding our hand, steering us and navigating us through the waters that are the local authority and the clinical commissioning group. Sometimes if we needed a piece of equipment, they were able to find someone to fund it for us. He was able to go to groups where he meets peers, and he's included, and he's loved, and he's safe, and he's known. So you can wheel him into a BDCPS environment and everyone's like, "Hi Samuel, how are you?" And I don't think he gets that anywhere else other than school. So it's nice that he's accepted like that, and he gets that affirmation. It's inclusive. So, you know, he's tried rock climbing, he does canoeing, he goes out on boats, he goes ice skating, and, you know, nobody else does that with him. BDCPS are the only ones that do that with him. Sometimes I've been a bit nervous that he's doing these things, but it's great that he's included in doing them and given the opportunity to see if he likes them, and that he's not just written off that he can't do any of those things. I think BDCPS is a small charity that does a huge amount, and actually in our local area there are not a lot of facilities for a lot of our complex children. Without it, a lot of families, I think, would go under. They are so reliant, we are so reliant on BDCPS for so many things to support us in this life. And, you know, if I'm honest, sometimes I see the Pride of Britain Awards, and, you know, they're great awards, but sometimes I'm thinking, yeah, okay, you put your hands in your pockets once a year when it's, you know, on camera, or if you're in a specialised sort of place. But actually, you know, this is a chance to help families and children with disabilities in the area right now, and it goes straight to them, and it's not, you know, it's not taxed, it doesn't get hidden away somewhere in a bank account. It is genuinely used for need for complex and severely disabled children.